Hey folks, Trevor here from History on the Move. And if there's one thing I really like about this channel, other than railroads and history and putting the two together, is the soundtrack to it. Yeah. So if you've listened to this channel for any length of time, you have probably heard these boys pressing strings. Yeah, from Annapolis, Maryland, right here. Well, there. I'm here in Baltimore. But the first time I'd ever heard them live, my buddy Eric and I went down to, I believe it was Canton, and we saw them play live in this little venue, and it just blew our minds. Like, I had never heard the amount of just dynamics and just sheer passion for the music. They really enjoy what they do. And I'm not just saying that. I truly enjoy. I cannot tell you how many shows I've seen. I've lost count at this point. And this has been just a phenomenal journey with them. And again, they've allowed me to use their music as the soundtrack. It's literally the soundtrack to History on the Move. So, it's a nice thing, right? We have, railroad history, right here in Baltimore. And we also have a wonderful group from Annapolis that helps that. And I had the distinct pleasure of interviewing these guys outside of the Cult Classic Brewing Company outside, before one of their gigs. I've been chasing these guys for a while to say, hey, sit down and give me an interview, tell me all your little secrets. And so I finally got it, and I wanted to share this with you. And if you've never seen them before, please spend the money, go see them live, buy the records. These guys are they're going places. I'm telling you right now, they're going places. Sky's the limit. Sky's the absolute limit. And so I will end this with a nice little montage from one of their songs that got really big, 40 Miles is what it's called, on WTMD right here in Maryland. So I'm here with my friends, Pressing Strings. You've probably heard their music on the channel numerous times. They're literally the soundtrack to it, but why don't we ask them some questions about how did this get started? Jordan, first, tell me, what's the genesis of the band?
Genesis of the band was I was in college and I decided to start writing music, and I started going and performing it in random places, and I decided that I was just going to make a go for it in my life as a musician, and that's how it happened. That's the genesis.
And Nick, how did you get into the mix?
I joined him in around 2011, early that year.
Okay.
Been playing with him ever since. Justin joined in 2021.
Yeah, before that, though, I dipped into playing in the Annapolis music scene with other artists and saw Nick and Jordan performing and hustling many nights a week. I was already a fan and liked them as people. And so when time came to join, it was a very easy transition to step in.
And so talk me through the songwriting process, right? When you guys come together, how do you write songs? Or do you do it in a separate fashion? What's the songwriting process? How does that work?
It's usually based off ideas that I come up with, and I take it to them, and we sort of vibe it out, see what the rhythm should be doing, and parts, and it's pretty collaborative these days, which is nice. In the past, it hasn't been that way. But nowadays it's like, we're like working on this like together as a team, and it's great.
Right. Now, inspiration. Talk about inspiration for song lyrics, because Jordan, you are the main lyricist, is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
Some of your songs, I have to say, they're very poignant, and they kind of, since the beginning of the first album till now, have really stood the test of time. Tell me, how do you come up with some of these very poignant song lyrics? Is it just things happening in your life, or things you see out in the world? How does that work?
I think a little bit of both. I don't really know. I wish I could describe where each song comes from. But mainly it's sort of like my life experiences, things that I deal with in my own life, and things that I see outside myself, and relationships that I have, and relationships that I see other people having, and stuff like that. I can sort of I try to make it so it's not so on the nose, or sort of straight to the point. Sometimes I'll try to sort of leave it up to the audience to guess a little bit. But for the most part, they're kind of songs about love and family and friendship, and and a lot of mortality and finality of life. Like that's kind of what the approach that I usually write music from is that, you know, there's an end to this.
Right.
You know?
We're here for a finite amount of time,
Yeah.
right? Get the most fun. That's kind of the vibe I've always gotten from your songs is we're only here for a short time, but
Yep.
make it a fun time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So let me ask you this question. So the theme, as we've discussed before, the theme to my channel is "No One Else." That's the song that everybody
sweet.
hears, you know, as the video kicks off. How did that song come about?
Just on that little riff. Yeah, I would just play that over and over again until some words formed, and sort of like playing telephone with yourself. You sort of one line leads to the next line, and pretty soon you got a song with a thought and a theme.
Okay. Now this is I've been thinking about this myself. So your catalog is pretty deep, right? Like it goes back a ways. What's it like playing songs from then now, especially how the group has changed and it's evolved? Like,
Why don't you talk about that, because you know.
I mean, I mentioned like working hard and hustling in bars and nightclubs for years and years on end. Songs are naturally going to evolve depending on the players, depending on the years and hours you put into playing them, and the sort of interpretation of, say, me playing someone else's drum parts. But what else happens is that musicians grow in talent and skill set and age, and you just figure out these little hacks, and maybe we'll come up with something new for an old song, or maybe play it a little harder, a little softer, learn how to sing it. But that, yeah, the old music is just as new to a lot of us as it was, and I feel like I'm always listening. I'm always putting on old and new music to kind of check back in with how it was recorded, how it was played, but then also apply it to sort of the clubs and festivals and things we might be playing now.
Gotcha.
Maybe it's a listening room for 40 people, maybe it's a 400-person event, and you do approach those songs like differently, subtly differently, depending on the room and the show. Yeah.
so each song kind of takes on its own life each time you play it. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Sometimes,
I think so, yeah.
yeah. There's
It feels, we try to make it feel new.
Yeah, there's a base level.
I always want it to feel sort of fresh to me. The idea, I want it to feel fresh, so we might do a little something different with it each time we play it, but just nuanced.
So tell me, like in a big picture here, like hopes, dreams for the future for your own band, like collectively.
Yeah.
If you just want to take turns, like you know.
Nick, why don't you start?
I just want this new album to get a lot of ears on it, as many as possible. I mean, compared to what's in the past, just because I feel like it would help out, just in general, as many people could hear us as possible, and then we can move.
And then what?
And then conquer the world.
Conquer the world.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I think our version of conquering the world is to sustain and play the long game of a music industry, which is growing your team, working with people that want to work with you, be it an agent, manager, photographer, videographer. You build your family up, your brotherhood up, and it just kind of grows in that respect. And the longer we can sustain playing new music that people still buy, listen to, like, and buy the ticket for, you know, we make new music to keep people excited and keep ourselves inspired and excited too. So, yeah.
If I had to say what I want is just to be able to live a comfortable, normal life and to keep doing this. I mean, that's really whatever that is, whatever I need to do to get there, where I feel like I'm just like having a fulfilled life and that I'm making like the most on all levels is what I want.
All right, what if I were to tell you that your music, on behalf of many people out there, what if I told you that your music even helped out 10% of people feel better? How would you respond to that?
That's exactly what I'd do it for. Like that's what I mean.
Yeah, we know that's happening. It's like it starts with your friends and your family, and you send, you know, this new track or an old track, and or maybe you get a message from someone you've never met that said, hey, the last few months have been hard, medical, family, whatever. We get those messages quite often, and it always means the world, you know.
We're playing
You know?
a woman's celebration of life who just passed away, like literally like a couple weeks ago, and she had cancer, and it was terminal cancer. She knew it, and basically her husband got a hold of us and said, hey, we've seen you a bunch, here's a set list, can you play her? And he wrote me out our set list of all of our songs, and new and old and stuff, and shit that we like, stuff that we like are still playing right now, you know, and like new stuff. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing, man. She was like, all the way up to the end was listening to us, and there's been a number of times where that's been happening, and I think that's the 10% we're talking about. Like, you know, I feel like there's more people like that than I even realize. You know, that's the coolest thing about music, is like you have no idea who was listening to it or recorded music.
True.
You have no idea, or what, or when, like the circumstance in their life or anything like that. So like, that's the coolest thing I think about doing it.
Well, on behalf of those 10% of people out there and myself, because I put myself in that 10%. Thank you guys. For sitting down, taking the time to be interviewed, and telling the good people of YouTube land your story, and check these guys out. They're phenomenal.
Thank you.
40 miles, that's all it takes to get to Baltimore. 4 different kinds, medical grade in my top drawer, and it's alright. Lift me up just like a bird in flight, and I don't mind. I got a reason and I got to you right. So just sit me right down on the couch and figure it out. Feels like a whole damn year since I left this